Like, I'd ask you also to close your eyes, all except Janice. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant, oh, come ye to Bethlehem. That's all I want you to say. Faithful, being faithful, is the calling for today. For you see, the world will say things like, don't believe anything you hear, and only half of what you see. How many people have heard that little statement? How many have seen the little monkeys? They have this. What does this mean? Speak no evil. What's this? What's this? What's this? Do no evil. Why doesn't it see the glory of God, hear the glory of God, speak the glory of God, do the glory of God? What are you hearing? And what are you seeing every day? If you turn on the news, what are you hearing and what are you seeing every day? Is it to the glory of God or is it something else? Really important as we jump into the vision for today. There was a politician, you see, who was going door to door to drum up business for himself. Of course, he wanted to be reelected. So he went to this farmer, and this is an old story. You probably have heard it, but I love telling it. So he went up to the farmer's house, he knocked on the door, and he said, I'm looking for your vote. And the farmer said, I wouldn't vote for you if you were the last person on earth. You're horrible, and if you don't get off my porch, I'm going to stick my dog on you. The politician shook his hand, walked out to the car, opened his book, and wrote, undecided. Have you decided for Jesus? You see, John had. You see, he was the person who saw the dove, heard the voice, Jesus, this is my son. Wow, what an expression. But now he's in a place that's not so great. He's in prison. And he's hearing things that he's not expecting to hear about Jesus. So he sends people to find out what's going on. Sometimes things don't go as we plan. There's a wonderful statement I love to say. You want to hear God laugh? Tell him your plans. But John had a plan, and that plan was not coming to fruition. So he wanted to hear from Jesus. He wanted the words that was going to reassure him that he was the Messiah. In difficult times, people are seeking those words that assure us, right? I was living in Las Vegas. I was stationed there, and this young airman did something horrific. He took the life of one person and then took his own life. Now, of course, that does happen in our world. But I went over to his organization to try to help them deal with this horrible event. The leaders of the organization were saying, hey, we need to get the honor guard together. And I heard them say it, and I wanted to help them. And I said, hang on a second. You need to talk to the commander because the commander might deem his actions not honorable. I went out into the community, talked with them as much as I could. I returned back to my office, and I was praying about my time with that organization. I got a call from a friend of mine who worked in that organization, and she said, "Did you tell them that he was going to hell?" I started laughing. I said, "I don't have that much power. That's not my job." And she said, no, that's what they heard. That he was going to hell. People hear things that you do not say. Maybe that's happened in your life, but that's the most dramatic thing that's happened. I mean, truly, it didn't mention hell. But that's what was heard. If we think about your life, what are you proclaiming and what is being heard? Is it hope? Is it love? Is it something else? These folks arrive and start talking to Jesus, and they ask him the question, "Are you the one, or should we look for another?" And Jesus, does he give them an answer? Yes, but it's not the answer they want. What is the answer they want? Yes or no. He says to them, hang on, quoting the Old Testament from Isaiah, "The lame walk, the blind see, the dead are raised." He is quoting from this passage. And they have to come to that decision themselves. Is he the Messiah? Is he the Messiah in your life? What are you hearing and what are you saying? This week I thought about all the great things and all the hard things that I had in my life. I got to honor Norma. I got to be with people celebrating Advent. Got an opportunity to sing some carols. And I got a chance to see some folks working in the kitchen, bringing a message of the gospel in just the food they delivered to those who were shut in, those who were needy, those who were maybe struggling in life. These were words that were spoken that transformed us. And maybe they weren't words at all, maybe just a meal to help someone get through the day. That proclaimed they weren't alone, that they were loved, that there's hope, that we come to prepare others, not just ourselves, for Jesus. What are you hearing, and what will you say? After Jesus talks to his disciples, he starts talking about John. He talks about how great he is. How often have you heard that you are great? I'll wait. How often have you heard that you're loved beyond measure? How often have you heard that you are a child of God, that he would go to the cross for? That is what God is saying. What are you hearing? I went to a nursing home several years ago, and I had an opportunity to sit, and I was preparing, you see, for the service, and an elderly gal came up to me, and she started talking to me. But I was in I was in a hurry to get this service together for this nursing facility. I was going through stuff, and I said, yeah. And she reached out and took my hand, and I'm asked, Iris, help me out here. She grabbed my hand. She did this. Can you see that? She grabbed right there. So there was no moving. There was no preparing. There was nothing like that. She wanted to be heard. And when she did that, I knew that I needed to hear her. She was lost in a wilderness, you see. She had her facilities. She had her mind. She had the ability to move around, and she was in a room and in a place where a lot of people did not. She was struggling how God would bring her to this place and how God is active in her life at this time. Maybe say those are some of the questions you're running with now, and no one is listening. God is listening. And I will listen. If you're struggling in your wilderness, how God is at work in your life. If you feel lost and alone. If you feel someone has said something to you that's inappropriate. Or, God forbid, someone said you're going to hell. Come talk to me. And I will tell you the story that is the greatest story ever told. The story of God's Son who came and was born in Bethlehem. Who reached out to faithful and unfaithful people to show them that God loved them. When you're walking out of this door today, I would love to hear what you heard. So often people walk by and say, Pastor, I love what you said about this. And I didn't say that at all, man. But I love that you heard it. God speaks. I hope that you listen. And all God's children said.
Amen.
Brothers and sisters, now let us stand and sing.